this is our cable tool. It is going to create the design that you see right here in a continuous line design. This is a collaboration between my brother and I. I kind of figured out how it could be done continuous line, and he figured out the most economical way to put it on a template. If you want, there are step-by-step instructions that are free downloads off our website. You are more than welcome to go get them and follow along in the video. There are some important things to know about this template. This is one of the few templates that has a stitch direction. It is important to pay attention to your stitch direction. And then there's a whole bunch of letters. And as long as you can go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, you're good to go. So we're going to start. I took a ruler and I marked a line down the center of what would be a border. I'm going to start by finding the A on my template. And I'm going to line up the dotted lines that go from A to the other end of my template, making sure that my stitch direction arrow is in the direction that I'm going to be stitching. Since I'm going to be stitching down or away from me, that's the direction the template is going to be. I'm going to put my foot down so that it is at A, line up my template, drop my needle. I'm going to get a couple of them to lock in my stitches. All right, and I am now going to stitch from A to B. I'm going to look for C, which is right here. I'm going to move my template over, line up my foot on C, and then line up the dotted lines on the drawn line of my border. And I am lining up the stitch line as close as I can to the magenta line. I'm going to stitch from C to D. Then I'm going to go from D all the way over to E. From E to F. Now I need to go F, G. I'm going to turn my template around. G is very close to B. And I'm going to line up my dotted lines. And there's also a solid magenta line that I'm going to line up on. Now, I am not a precise quilter. I don't worry about that. I make quilts for my friends and my family. They really don't care. But because I am not a precise quilter, I find that sometimes all my lines don't line up. But that's okay because the tool still works and it's very good for this. I just find that I get as close as I can with as many of the lines as I can. I'm going to go from G all the way over to H, and now this is the one spot where I'm going to backtrack back to I, which is right here. And I'm stopping on the line. You've done everything you need to do to start this. Now you repeat. Hook that template around at A, turn it around, and repeat everything you just did. A to B, move your template to C, go to D. Now you will note that I'm stopping between C and D. I don't want to go around that corner. It will round out the cable and it won't look quite as nice. D to E, over to F, hook up G, line up my template, to H, backtrack to I, and repeat. Now, if you just want to end your quilt without just going off the border, you can just keep going and let that slide off the border and you're good. if you want to have a finished design, such as here, then you are going to have to do a couple of more details. So let me get down to the end. We're at A. We're backtracking to I. All right, I'm going to swing around, but since I want to end this piece here, I'm not going to use the whole template. I'm going to stop where my template is, where my stitching is down here. So I'm only going to go from A until I reach the bottom of my stitching. Okay? I'm going to get myself a 1/2 inch or so, the width of the cable here, and then line up my template just as if I was, which was meaning the C would be down here. So I'm going to put my dash lines on the drawn line, and I'm going to move my template till the magenta line is on the stitch line. I may have to make a slight adjustment. There we go, that's better. And go back up to E, over to F, find G, line up the magenta, stop on the drawn line, and finish off the design.